that. It's just, you're kind of a conduit, right? So are you a conduit yourself, or is Terry a conduit?
I am not myself.
Okay.
As far as my paranormal team goes, my partner Trudy is the one who is more sensitive to all of this. She's not psychic. She's just sensitive.
Okay, so she's able to pick up on certain energies.
And she'll go, "Do you feel that?" And I go, "No."
Right. That's like my husband too.
Open
he
yourself
doesn't feel
up
it either.
and try to feel it, and then sometimes I can do it. But as you say, when I go into a location, the only thing that I want to know about it is the historical aspects of it.
Right, exactly.
There
I don't want to know
ghost
the ghost stories
associated. I really don't want to know because I want to acquire my own evidence.
Right, and that's how I feel.
But going into a location, you don't want to go in completely blind, not knowing anything at all. I want to know at least the history behind the location itself.
Right. See, and I'm kind of like, if it's a really new location, I don't even want to know anything about it. Like, I really love that because I like to be able to go in, and because I'm, whatever it is, otherwise gifted, I like to let all of that just, come to me, and then I'll do the research, the historical research on it. I mean, sometimes locations I can't help it because I've been there on a dig, or I've done some kind of archaeological research or something on a site. So I already have that side of it. But for the most part, I really love it when I don't know a single solitary thing about it. Sometimes these, spirits and entities and that will come and they'll tell me their stories. Like, they will literally tell me things that you couldn't find out in, any other way. And then you take that and go back and start to look and backtrack the history and go through the genealogy and do all of those things. I mean, we all come at it from a different angle, but it's really neat to know, like, for you. So let me ask you, because I'm really curious about this. Like, you've mentioned Spence and a couple of other things. Is there a experience that you've had with what we would consider poltergeist activity that's actually scared you, like made you, there's things that will make us kind of like, oh wow, that was really weird, and we're sort of in the moment. But is there anything that's really made you like, I gotta leave, or I want to be out of here, or have you not had one of those? Not everybody has.
That's a good question. I have had one of those, and it was actually the very first investigation we ever did. So we were green, didn't know what we were doing. It took place in a building here in Hamilton called the Custom House. Yeah,
I'm very familiar with that. I used to do the tours in there, so yeah.
Yeah. For those who don't know, who are listening here that don't know what the Custom House is, it was built in 1860.
It's a beautiful building.
It is a beautiful building. The very first time I saw it, it wasn't, and I can mention that in a second.
But I mean, it's nice that they did the work.
But the Custom House is, as the name suggests, it was built for the Customs Department. Where it's located in Hamilton is above the railway tracks that go through the north end.
And close to the old harbor.
And to the harbor as well, that's right. And so when the ships would come into the port, the trains would come into the rail yards, they would have to declare customs and duties and taxes just like we do today when we cross the border.
Right.
So that's what this building was constructed for. Over the years, it has enveloped into many more buildings, businesses as well.
Right. It's had a lot of things go on in there.
Yeah, it was a school, it was a factory, et cetera, et cetera. In the 1970s, it closed down, and that's actually when I saw it for the first time, was in the late 70s, early 80s.
So you saw it when it was falling into the ground at that point?
Yes, it was just falling apart. It was just a derelict building, and that's what actually got me into the paranormal. I'd heard some of the stories about this building, and I went down to see it because I was intrigued. and I looked at this building that's just this desolate wreck.
And it was pretty bad. I saw pictures of it, and it was very, really, it had a tree growing inside.
They did in the middle of the foyer. There was a tree actually growing through the floor. Yeah. And so anyways, as I say, that's actually what got me into the paranormal. And I had never forgotten about the building since then. And it was 6 years ago once I actually got into the paranormal. And once again, it was the custom house that was responsible. Because on the internet, I had come across an advertisement for a local business here in Hamilton called the Ghost Walks.
Right.
A friend of ours, Daniel Cumulato. You're affiliated with Daniel, aren't you? You know.
I know Dan. Yeah, and actually, I think at the time, I initially many years ago when they first started out, Ed and I were tour guides for Haunted Hamilton when Dan and Steph were.
The original incarnation of the Ghost Walk.
We were exactly, and we actually did tours in the Custom House, and we also did tours at Niagara-on-the-Lake and at the Hermitage. So so I'm very well familiar with it. But and Dan's great. Love Dan. He's got his Ghost Walk in Niagara-on-the-Lake and numerous other spots, and I always try to promote him because I like his approach. It's very, he loves history too, and that. So so you kind of got involved then at the point when Dan had taken over the walks there. Then.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
So I stumbled across the Ghost Walks. I'd never heard of it before then, and here's this advertisement for this paranormal investigation ghost hunt night at the Custom House. So right away, I said to Trudy, hey, we've got to sign up for, this event, take this event, and check it out. Yeah, because I still remembered, this feeling I'd had for this Custom House building. So I was ecstatic. Here's an opportunity that I actually get to go inside this building now, as it's been restored. Let's make that clear. It wasn't still. Yeah. It's been restored now. It's a beautiful museum. A wonderful restoration job.
Yeah, they did a good job on it.
We were at this Ghost Walks event, and we were upstairs in the third floor in the attic.
Yeah, familiar with that space.
Yep. Yeah. And there is a spirit up there. His name is Walter, and he is, or was, I should say he was
not alive
the caretaker
anymore,
of the building back in 1956.
That's right.
And
now that's when, at that point though, Ian, can I ask, is that when it was the macaroni factory?
No. The macaroni factory was the last business to occupy the building before it fell apart.
Right,
and it was vacant for years after that.
Okay. So when he was in there, do you know what the building was being used for at that time? I don't remember.
Yes,
I remember him.
When Walter was there in 1956, that was the macaroni factory.
It was the macaroni factory. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we were upstairs where he had a bachelor's apartment. He lived on the premises, apparently. And so we're at this Ghost Walk event, and it's pitch black in the attic.
Yeah, it is.
And we're up, and we walk through the doorway into his domain of his apartment.
Yeah, you can really feel it when you walk in there.
Well, you... Oh,
was
wow.
Was the mirror still in there when you were there? Was the mantle with the mirror still parked up against the wall that they took out of one of the rooms? Yeah? Yeah, okay.
Yes, it was. Yep, it's right up at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, we walked through the doorway into Walter's apartment, and we were rushed by his energy, which went straight through us.
Wow.
And I have never felt anything like that before in my life, and I've never felt it since. And that's one of the things